October 23rd meeting of the Fire and Police Commission to order. Um, First, we'll do the minutes of our previous meeting. Are there any?
Chair Herlinger, we're going to start with roll call.
Oh, we're going to start with that. Okay.
Commissioner Lappas,
Here.
Okay.
Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Dozer.
Here.
Vice Chair Hill is absent. Chair Herlinger.
Here.
Perfect.
Okay, general public comment. Do we have anybody in the chamber to make any public comments?
Chair Herlinger, we do not have any online or in-person public comment.
Okay.
We do have changes to the agenda. We will be switching items 9 and 8.
Okay.
And moving on to item number 5, approval of meeting minutes from August 28, 2025.
I would make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second that motion.
All in favor? Vote.
Approval of meeting minutes from August 28, 2025. Motion passes.
Okay, item number 6.
Item number 6, Santa Barbara Police Department Mission Strategies Report.
Good afternoon, Chair Herlinger and Commission members. Today, you do not have Commander Casapis. He is away at Command College, so that's actually very exciting. He's almost finished with that program, so you get me instead today. So we're going to go over quickly the quarter 3 mission strategies. We'll just go through real quick just to remind everyone of what the 4 quadrants are of our mission strategies. You have reduce harm, relationship building and quality of life, felt presence, and service, just as our quarterly reminder. Okay, so for quarter 3, and this is July through September, these are the stats specific to quarter 3 of 2025. So as you look at them, you can see exactly what our numbers were. There's a few things I'm going to point out. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but in the last 3 months, we have started issuing the administrative citations for e-bikes. So as you can see in that third quarter, we issued 172 administrative citations for e-bike safety reasons. So I know there's been a big request in the community for us to be present, and I think as you can see, we are. And I can also tell you, I think we have seen a change in behavior as a result. So if you also look in the other side of it, so in the relationship building and quality of life, we've done 3 e-bike safety school presentations as well. So since school has started, and you'll see more as we move along, we've been doing a lot of different e-bike safety presentations at all of the schools, and the schools have been actively engaging with us. So that's a really positive thing for us, and there's more to come on that. So we just got notification, in fact, yesterday, that we got our new Office of Traffic Safety grant that we get yearly. So we'll have some more funding to do more of those presentations and more enforcement, as well as there was a second grant that we did with SB Move to partner with them to do more education as well around e-bike safety. So you'll see more of that as we move in the future. So you'll also see in the reduce harm, 103 DUI arrests. When I get to my next slide, you'll see why that's important, but we have shifted our resources. Some we have recognized that was one of our biggest factors related to the number of collisions that we were seeing, and now we have a officer that does DUI enforcement, and that is his primary function at night. So he has made a significant number of arrests, and our weekend swing shift team has also started averaging 1 to 2 arrests almost every night related to DUIs. So You can see that that is a shift, and I also know that when we see the corresponding number of traffic collisions related to DUIs, our hope is that you will see that number go down. It's too early to see. I know we had a DUI-related collision over by the high school over the weekend, and we also had another one last night. So it doesn't mean those are not occurring, but our hope is that with the increased enforcement, those will go down. As you can see, we're still trending high on our co-response mental health assists. Another one to note is that we are now fully staffed in our parking enforcement program. So you're seeing our number of parking citations have also increased with staffing. Our hope is that that will also make public safety better. So enforcing those, not just focusing on the street sweeping, but also focusing on the red curb violations, the neighborhood permit parking, and other things. So our hope is that we see that improve. We're doing a lot of community engagement events still, as you can see, 18 in the last quarter. Also, you can see that our VIPs, so those are our volunteers in policing, are still very active, 768 hours for that quarter. You can also see over 2,000 focus area and premise checks. And now if you switch to the last bottom coordinate, you'll see that we are making our goals for our priority one. Those are the red light and siren calls. So our goal is 7 minutes, and we were at 5.5 minutes. So that's excellent for us, as well as our priority 2 calls. So those are still high priority. They're just not red lights and siren, but they're a high priority call. We're still making those, our goal is 14.5 minutes, and we're making those in 11.6. So if you look at priority 3 and 4, those are still, although we're not quite hitting our goal, we're only slightly over, which I'm very pleased that we're trending in the right direction with that. So, you know, yes, I want to see the 30 minutes, but 33 for that non-emergency type of call, I'm not upset over. We're almost there. We're continuing to, you know, strive to hit that, but we're still well with what I would like to see. You can see our over 9,000 calls for service and over 6,000 proactive engagement stops with on-view activity. So what I really want to focus, though, is year-to-date. So instead of comparing quarter 3 to quarter 3 of last year, which doesn't really gives you a small snapshot, it's really not the data that I want you to be able to look at. I want you to look at where we are year-to-date. So that's more important to me, where we are at this point in the year versus where we were at this point last year. So all the way through quarter 3. So you can see crimes against persons are down, crimes against property are down, crimes against society are slightly up, but a lot of those are related to narcotics offenses. And when you look at the number, even though it's 3%, it's actually less than 40 incidents. So it's not in terms of the actual number, it's not a huge number, and that's over 3 quarters. Our community engagement, so our new community engagement coordinator, who's not so new anymore, is doing a great job. We're up 176% in terms of our community engagement. Our parking sites are up 6%. Our focus areas and premise checks are up 18%. Our DUI arrests, like I said, up 51% already compared to last year. Priority 1 calls, we're meeting that 5.5. Priority 2, 11.6. Priority 3, 34.8, and priority 4, 53.1. So I think overall, when you look at this year compared to last year, all the way through the first 3 quarters, we're doing really well. We're trending in a very positive direction with our violent crimes, our crimes against property down, and our proactivity is up. And that comes with, we've been doing a lot of hiring, we have increased staffing, and that makes a big difference on what we're able to do in terms of public safety. Any questions?
How many open positions?
I have 10 police officer positions I can hire for. Our overall vacancy rate at this point is 10%. 3 years ago, our vacancy rate for the department was over 25%. We have almost no professional staff open positions. We only have a couple dispatch positions. And we currently just graduated 4 from the academy. We have another 9 in the academy right now. And our next set that we're hiring for right now will start in January.
So when they start, how many open positions will we have?
They're included in those.
Oh, in the staff that you
Yes.
have? Okay.
Yes. That is part of the uphill battle of it takes a long time to hire, send to the academy and train. So that's why our goal is not just to catch up, but to get ahead of it because it takes so long to train a new officer.
Okay, Commissioner Jones.
Thank you. Thank you, as always. Do you foresee in the immediate future any challenges to continuing the hiring goals that you've set, given any budgetary challenges or any other impacts?
Currently, we have the ability in public safety to continue to hire, which is exactly what we're committing to do. City Council has made a commitment to allowing us to fill all of our positions and continuing to hire, which is what we're going to do. So we have 3 positions that are not funded in the budget, so those 3 positions we can't hire for. And then we have 3 positions that we use to pay for 6 police techs. So those positions we don't actually hire a police officer for at this time. But we're doing different things to make sure that we continue our ability to hire. If we get a candidate who, when they come in and do department head, seems like they are a good person and a hard worker, but they may need some job experience and some maturity, that opportunity to get their feet wet, so to speak, we may bring them in as a parking enforcement officer or a police tech. We have several that we have done that with for 6 months to a year, and then when they're ready, we send them off to the academy. So we get them in the environment, we can work with them, we start helping them prepare physically and mentally. It's been a very important tool for us to do, so.
And I want to thank you also, not only for the report, but I'm just pleased to see the significant increase in the number of community engagement events, and I would like to think that that is kind of helping the overall culture and climate in our community to make those connections, which underpins kind of our work as well, so thank you.
Commissioner LaPaz?
Chief Gordon, just a small note to commend you and the staff for the e-bike campaigns. In my neck of the woods, in the San Roque district, I hear from parents and teachers about the education. And anecdotally, I could see school kids are slowing down, going down and up Hope and La Cumbre streets in my area. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm seeing more buckled helmets, which also makes me happy, so.
Tell us about the police station.
It is well underway in terms of construction. We're still on schedule to be in it in September of 2027. If you drive by, you will see not just a large hole at this point, but you will also see a very large crane that is set up, a 142-foot crane. You'll see a lot of rebar being tied. The floor of the floor foundation for the police station side of the building will be poured in mid-November. So everything is on track. All of us are working very hard. We have several meetings a week regarding all related to new buildings. So right now, the project is doing great. Everyone in the city and all of our contractors are working hard to bring it to completion.
Thank you. So if there's nothing else, we'll move to the next agenda item.
Item number 7, quarterly reports on complaints of police misconduct.
Chief Mills is trying to hurry me.
He wants to hear about the complaints.
Well, I would like to say, actually, for this period, we have a very low number of complaints. We only had 2 new citizen complaints and no administrative complaints. At this point, at the end of quarter 3, we have only 5 citizen complaints pending from this year, and we have no administrative complaints pending. And the relevant policy section related to the 5 open cases are discriminatory conduct, discourteous or respectful treatment, or failure to take reasonable action while on duty. So those are the policy sections related to the 5 still pending complaints for the year. So, questions? That was a simple one.
I don't have any requests to speak, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item. will be number 8. Well, it'll be 9, but
Yes.
it'll be the incident report. Is that right?
For item 8, Santa Barbara Fire Department
Okay.
incident report, reporting data.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Chris Males, your Fire Chief. I'm with Operations Division Chief Brian Fetterman, who will give the report. Just want to mention a couple things that are important for the last quarter. This is the first full quarter that we have been in the new Regional Fire Communications Center. As you know, we moved into the center on June 3rd. I do have an official date for ribbon cutting, which will be forwarded to you. So we have 3 months of data from the Regional Dispatch Center, but what we don't have is the full value of the Regional Dispatch Center that we can give to you today. And what I mean by that is that we're going to give you the number of incidents that Santa Barbara City Fire Department handled. But we also have, since we have closest available resource now, there could be some incidents, or there are some incidents, that Santa Barbara County or Montecito Fire handled for us because they were the closest resource. That would not necessarily come up in this report. That information would have to come from the Regional Dispatch Center, and they are still building a really elaborate data dashboard and programs for us to be able to pull that data really easily. So at some point in the future, we're going to have a much more robust presentation that will potentially even have call locations, what department handled that call, and we'll be able to pull up a lot more information of dispatch time, what's the turnout time, which if Brian will talk to you is the time from the time the call went out to the time the unit is en route. We will have dispatch time, we will have turnout time, we will have actual wheels rolling time. That is when that rig is actually moving. So there's a lot more data that's coming our way, so we ask for a little bit of patience. It takes about a year really to get a regional dispatch center up with everything functioning perfectly. This has been a monumental task to get this center up and running, to move from individual dispatch centers to handling incidents for 37 stations. I had the opportunity to go up last week and just watch for a couple of hours, and it is simply amazing to watch. The choreography going on between the dispatchers, the speed at which these calls are interrogated, the speed that the incidents are dispatched, the tracking of the apparatus by GPS. The computer literally pulls the closest available resource based on exactly to the second how far they are from the incident. So they will literally say, wait, this fire engine is 2 minutes and 41 seconds away. This fire engine's 2 minutes and 43 seconds away. This one's going to go. And so that's relatively new for us. So, but getting back to what we're here for today, we just want to let you know what our department responded to, the calls and the types of calls for service, along with our training hours and our community engagement. So I'll let Brian take it away.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Commissioners. Again, Brian Fetterman, Operations Division Chief. Quarter 3 data for our department runs from July 1st to September 30th. Our incidents, again, like the Chief mentioned with a little bit of an asterisk, is 3,067 calls for the quarter. Still very consistent with what our department continues to operate. 54 fires, 2,126 rescue or EMS type calls, and those include vehicle accidents as well inside that makeup. 123 hazardous condition calls, 52 service calls, 531 good intent calls, and a lot of those, a high number of the 531 in there are canceled en route calls, which is common. So if an ambulance or another unit arrives on scene and determines that the response that is coming is not needed, they'll cancel those off. So very common. False alarms, 181, again for 3,067. Our turnout and travel times for quarter 3 across the 3 shifts, the turnout time on average 81 seconds, 78 and 83 across the 3 shifts in seconds. And then the travel time, which we see as we bring these reports forward, are pretty consistent for our department. Again, a big geographical area for us to traverse with our apparatus, but really going to be excited to see the data come out of the RFCC and really get into the GPS tracking of the vehicles and see how much more detailed we can get with these. And then the training for our quarter three, this number is way up from last quarter, 3,700 hours. And a lot of that is associated to a lot of our newer firefighters that were wrapping up their probationary year, had a lot of their annual or their closeout testing to do. So getting the crew personnel out and training and preparing for their final tests, and then their tests included. So really good to see. And along with the regional dispatch, we've been really collaborating with all our departments in the South Coast, Santa Barbara County Fire, Montecito, and Carpinteria, on joint drills and just enhancing our capabilities as we run more calls with these jurisdictions. We're starting to train a lot more with them. And so that collaboration is really exciting. And then the last part is our community outreach. 2,098 community members reached through our various public outreach efforts. Some that I've highlighted are the Fiesta Children's Parade, National Night Out, Senior Expo, Power Safety, school outreaches with our fire safety house that we do, the big inflatable house that we take around that our volunteers do such a great job with, as well as community emergency response teams. So very busy for our department getting out in the community, but super important. That's a lot of people touched in the community. And that is all I have, if you have any questions.
Questions or comments from commissioners? I have none. Good report.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 9, update on implementation of Genesis evacuation software and tutorial.
Good afternoon. Chris Males again. I just want to introduce Stacy Rosenberger. She's our emergency manager for the city. Thank you for allowing us to switch the items. Stacy was actually coming from a class, so I wanted to make sure she had plenty of time to get here. And she's here. She's going to get into more detail with the Genesis evacuation software program. It is up and running, it's live, and it's really a robust and remarkable program. Hoping that the community begins to engage with it. We're very confident that it is going to result in very timely and accurate notifications of evacuations and disasters. So, Stacy.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Stacy Rosenberger, Emergency Services Manager. Thank you for having me today. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update. Some of the slides you may have seen in our previous May, but I wanted to bring them forward again just to highlight what Genesis is and provide that little bit of background for anyone who might be listening. So Genesis is our internal platform for first responders and emergency managers that is utilized for evacuation mapping software and allows us to, within the field, make decisions on emergency protective measures and quickly push that out to the community in a visual format. So we can have a battalion chief or a commander in the field looking at an incident that's happening right then and say, we need an evacuation order or a warning, and they're able to easily push that out, make that visible on the map, and then work with Sheriff's Dispatch to do the actual alerting process through our Ready SBC alert. So it's a very, very exciting program. There's an internal and an external component to it. The public-facing map, which is Genesis Protect, and I can actually now bring that up for you, which I'll do towards the end and show you because our zones are live in it, so that's going to be very exciting to see. And it's pre-identified all of our emergency zones for Santa Barbara County. So those are set. The zones are there. We've done a lot of good work within the city to make sure we don't have to change those zones in the middle of events to reduce confusion during evacuations. So why do we really need it? It's great for enhanced communication and coordination and visualization for the public. And a lot of the times when we've had these big evacuations, it takes a bit to make those maps. Now we don't have that problem. These maps are there and they're live 24/7. And it's just an ability for us to say, turn on a zone, change a zone status to evacuation order, warning, or shelter in place. So overall, reduces the amount of time and increases the coordination that we have among the first responders within the community. Like I said, just a reminder, this is not an emergency alert system, but this is a way to visualize our evacuation zones. Just a quick reminder on our zone refinement process. We started at 42 zones within the city, and some of those are multi-jurisdictional and touch other areas, so we worked with county and other surrounding agencies, and we ended with 126 zones within the city. So we were really intentional with how we did those how we split those zones, what we looked at all hazards. So flood, fire, tsunami, hazardous materials, potentials for shelters in place due to active shooter or other man-made events. We looked at where schools were. We made the zone smaller because that was a best practice from many of the fires that we've seen and events that have utilized Genesis. And we stuck to main roads and we made some exclusion zones, including Cottage Hospital. And we had a great internal team that are listed up there. Like I said, there's two parts to Genesis. There's the internal Genesis evac platform, and that's what the first responders, mainly fire, PD, emergency management, and public works can see. And that is a system that has a lot of data preloaded into it that allows us to make data-driven decisions about emergency protective measures when we need to. It also can be used in rapid onset and slow-moving events, so we want to use it for whatever we need to use it for. And it can assist with planning for those emergency protective measures when we have a little bit more time to work. It also allows for us to preload traffic control points, shelter locations, and then turn those on and make those visible for the community when we need those. So very good. Will be a place where we can have everything displayed throughout the county. And then the external facing, which is called Genesis Protect, which I'll be able to show you, is our public facing map. And really excited about it, and this is what the public will see. And let's see if it's gonna come up. Yep. So now as a community member, a visitor to the city can go to protect.genesis.com, put their address in or use their location on their phone or computer and be able to see our zones within the city and see where they're located. So this is a really good view of downtown. You'll see that our zones are pretty small. When we started with those 42 zones, most of downtown was maybe 4 or 5 zones, so that would have been really large evacuations if we had to evacuate those areas. And now we've made them smaller so that we can do more targeted evacuations and for other hazards than just fire. So just zooming out a little bit to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Zones for the city are identified as STB, and then you'll see there's other designators based on who has jurisdictional authority within that area. So SBC is county, MTO is Montecito, et cetera. GOL is Goleta. When you click on a zone, see, when you click on a location, because it doesn't let you click on a zone, so let's pick a spot. It'll tell us what zone we're in, and then it allows you to, if you log into the app and you create an account, it allows you to actually save up to 5 zones that you want to follow. So you can have the zone where you work at, the zone where your kid's school is at, where your house is. You can have those zones followed, and when the status of that zone changes, you will get a push notification on your phone if you have that set up. You can also, in the app, allow for it to have location services on at all times, and then if you are in the zone, if you're in a zone and that zone status for the zone you're in changes, it will also do the push notification as well. Few things with Genesis Protect is that it is not in Spanish, so that's something that we're working with them on. But as the county and as the city, part of our process is for any of those zone changes we do, we'll be providing the information in English and Spanish in the reason field. I don't think we have anything in the city or county right now that I can show you that would show what that looks like now. We had something last week or the other week, but not right now. But when you select a zone, over on the left-hand side, you'll see additional information. You'll see for the zone we're in right now, there's no alerts, but if that was different, it would tell you evacuation order, evacuation warning, and it would provide you the information such as an evacuation order has been issued by the city of Santa Barbara for this area. We are not listing zone names. We are describing the zone, so we'll do the boundaries of the zone within there. That's been a best practice that's come out of Palisades and Eaton, is something to really look at because not everyone knows those zone numbers, and we have people from out of town that still need to understand those areas. So that'll be there, as well as when the evacuation order is in place and for how long it's going to be, and that'll be in English and Spanish in that section on the left that says no alerts. So that's the Genesis Protect. So that's one way you can get to that map. You can download it as an app, and I'll have a QR code at the end, and have it on your phone. I have it on mine. It's a great tool to look at. And then with the county, we also have the map live on readysbc.org/emergency, and this is there 24/7. So really, we're directing individuals here, especially because they're already going to Ready SBC for updated information during events, as well as for signing up for alerts. So if I scroll down, you'll see the live emergency zones map, and this is just basically what I showed you earlier embedded within the Ready SBC webpage. So multiple ways that residents can reach it and get the information. Like I said, you can enter an address, click on the zone, save multiple zones, and then additional information will also show up on that left-hand side that I was showing earlier when there is an event, such as shelter locations, any additional information we would like to put on there, and then you will also be able to show road closures as well as traffic control points. So it's really great way to put information out to the community. When we've had flooding events before, I think one of the questions is always what roads are open, what are closed. We're using Google Maps, as people, as community members, it's hard to see. This will allow our public works, PD, fire to really look at this, put those road closures in, and for the community to easily see those in one spot, as along with evacuation information, as well as additional information about the incident. Like I said, this does not replace Ready SBC alerts. We still need everyone to sign up for those alerts. Those are the main way that we alert everyone for evacuations and other emergency protective measures, as well as additional information of incoming events. So encourage that too. And just a reminder, take a minute to prepare for what's ahead. Download the mobile app to access the zones. It is the Apple app as well as on Google Play. You can just search it, download our Genesis Protect, and it will pop up, and it's really great, and set it up for the zones that you want to follow. So encouraging everyone to do that. Oh, sorry, I'll go back. I'll give you another few seconds. And as we're talking about this, I'm going to talk about public education in the next slide, but this is something we're really going to be pushing over the next little bit. We're working with the county on some public education around this and outreach. And so the county currently has ads within the, you'll see them in our press, on the news. We have radio ads in English and Spanish, social media, and city will also be working on that over the next few months to highlight these new evacuation zones. We've also included them in presentations, tabling events, and on city web pages. And as we move into 2026, throughout the county, we're going to be working on a Know Your Way Out informational campaign, really having people, instead of focusing on know their zone, we're going to focus on knowing your evacuation routes outside of, from your house, from your work, things like that. And that's it for me. Any questions?
Questions from commissioners? Commissioner Jones?
Thank you. Thank you very much for the report. With regards to the traffic control points and road closures, that information would be inputted, if I understand correctly, as a result of an emergency or an evacuation?
So we can input traffic control points ahead of time. So that's planning that I'm doing with PD ahead of time, looking at where would we have traffic control points for an evacuation. And then in an incident, we would go in and turn those traffic control points on, saying that this is where traffic control points are. But it's more of a planning aspect for us. The road closures we would do during an incident, working with Public Works and other staff on inputting those, as well as then making those visible for the public to be able to see.
Got you. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
Part of the reason I ask is because, as we all know, there's so much construction and traffic diversion and road closures are going on. So it's not just for the broader, like for example, Anacapa Street, there's construction going on right outside this building. So it's not for that per se. I just want to be clear. It's more specific for like an incident response.
Correct. And I'm working with Public Works on how they can utilize this and how we can potentially have for those longer term road construction events that are happening, have those loaded in there and then made visible during the event.
Got you. Thank you. And one more question. how can this commission kind of help spread the word about this app and this resource?
Encouraging people to go to readysbc.org, take a look at the map, sign up for alerts, as well as download the app, and really encourage them to do that as part of their preparedness efforts and not do it, at the time of an event. But we're going to be putting out a lot of social media on that as well from the Office of Emergency Services and with the city about this specific topic, yeah.
Great, thank you.
And the links, will there be links on the city website as well?
There's links on the Office of Emergency Services website right now for going to get the app, as well as going to Ready SBC for the map. And I'll work with our PIO to get some additional information up.
Okay, so this is just a question. I noticed that you have the temperature. Is that for this whole city, or is that for the particular zone?
Let's see. Oh, wait, where'd it go? I know, I'm always, whenever I go back. That would have been for that particular area. I think that is done by Genesis, so they're pulling data from National Weather Service. So it could vary. I'm not entirely sure where they're pulling that data from, but I'm guessing they're pulling from, where our phones get it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Great, any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we have a record time.
Yeah.
So we're on to commissioners and staff communications.
Chair Herlinger, just a couple of notes. One is that our meeting next month will be a special meeting and will take place on Thursday, November 20th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Really important meeting. It will be in council chambers and live streamed. And we have in-depth topics to discuss, and we hope that the public tunes in. I also wanted to share that I'm headed to Minneapolis, Minnesota next week for the National Association of Civilian Oversight of Law Enforcement annual conference, post George Floyd and the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd in that community, and what has been happening with national police reform and oversight since that time. So I will report back to the commission all of the valuable takeaways and appreciate the opportunity to be there on behalf of the city.
Just to report that I did a ride-along at the fire station at the airport, which I would suggest everybody do. It was very interesting. Any other comments? Okay, we're adjourned.
Thank you.